Hi everybody, how are we doing? My name is Boomy and you are watching my channel, Boomy Reactions. Now today, everybody, my lovelies, I would like to share with you, I suppose it's like a travel related video. So this video has come as a request from James N from my Patreon. Thank you so much for your support, James. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And James says, hi Boomy, I would love to see your reaction to Emma Robinson's video on moving to the USA. She's a Brit, a fellow Brit, who previously served in the Royal Navy. Her husband is still serving, and she's heavily into American horror shows and celebrating Halloween. Oh my gosh, twinsies. Oh, right, okay. Let's catch up with Emma and see how she's been getting on living in the USA. I can imagine from the word go, something tells me she's loving it. Right, guys? The weather's better, the food's better. I'm going to be exiled from the UK if I carry on. I do still like the UK, honestly, guys. But yes, there's many things that I imagine are much better in the US. But let's have a look and catch up with Emma. And as ever, guys, if you're enjoying these reactions, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.
The only thing I regret about moving to America, seriously, is not doing it sooner. And I already have the fear of when we have to leave to go back to England. So if you're considering moving to America, I want to share everything I've learned and experienced since being here, from social security numbers, driving, food, work, the places we've been able to go, because you can literally just drive everywhere.
Just go
no
on
need to be paying over the top for flights to get to some incredible locations. And I want to really tell my story. I've made a few videos here, but not really spoke about this huge thing I've done with my family. And I've made a point about making this channel more personal. There is a big truck going past me, but I am in the park with my husband and my daughter. But hi, I'm Emma, and me, my husband and our daughter said goodbye to England and all of our friends and family to explore America as a family for 3 years. And I have wanted to live in America since I was a kid. I was lucky enough to visit New York and Virginia when I was serving in the Navy, but it doesn't compare at all to living here. It is such a different way of life, and this really is a dream come true. I'll tell you why we did it first, which actually ties into how we did it. So with my husband still serving in the Navy, we just didn't see each other. We lived in a town with no family. We were just there for the convenience of the base being there. My daughter was going to nursery there, and for her first year of life, she hardly saw her dad. He was deployed when she was 2 weeks old, and this just kept happening. Then he got based further south, so we only saw him on weekends. And you know, when something just has to give, when you know this just can't go on.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened. We basically just had a long conversation and came to the conclusion that if he could get a military exchange job in America, we would see each other every single day and actually be a family. So that's what we did.
There's just no competition, of course. That it just seems like a bit of a no-brainer, doesn't it? And what a fabulous decision that sounds like it was. Do you know, I thought she was going to say something along the lines of, America's fantastic. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Guys, come over. And that's pretty much what she said within like the first opening 20 seconds. I thought she was going when she said, my biggest regret of moving to America. And I thought, oh no, what is it? What happened? She said, is that I didn't do it sooner. Well, yes, she had me.
That's why we have an expiration date of 3 years. But I am manifesting, I am willing and wishing that there is some way that we can stay, because it is incredible. The places we have been able to visit and see are just on another level. I don't know if that's because I just take England for granted, but living here, we are honestly just happier and healthier versions of ourselves. So one of the most amazing trips we did was Salem. We went around Halloween time, we dressed our daughter up as Maleficent, and it was incredible. It was such an experience.
Wow.
But for actual Halloween, we were at home. We live in Pennsylvania, and we went trick-or-treating, and oh my God, it really is like how it looks on TV. Everybody goes to so much effort decorating their houses, dressing up, making it a real experience. And we didn't knock on any doors. People would just be outside their houses with bowls of candy. It was just an amazing and happy experience. My daughter loved it, and it's well organized. So where we live, each town would have a certain night for trick-or-treating, so people know when to expect people and know what night to sit outside. It was really amazing. It is just like it is on the telly. Everywhere we travel to is far, but we just make it into a road trip with lots of cool stops in, and we get to go to so many places because you can just drive everywhere, and fuel is a hell of a lot cheaper out here, like significantly cheaper.
Oh yes, I believe it is. Oh, what are we on now? £1.40 for a litre of diesel, £1.30 for a litre of petrol. I'm sure I glanced at that. That was only yesterday, so that's very, very recent. I don't know what that would translate to in dollars. Ooh, like £1 is roughly what, like 75 cents? So 0.75 of a dollar. So that's probably about $1, isn't it? So that's $1 a litre, more or less, maybe a little bit more. So yes, fuel is very pricey. I don't think it's just us. I think it is across Europe as well. You know, over the last few years with everything that goes on with Russia and whatnot. But although I don't even know if that's at the crux of it, to be honest. I don't know what causes these fluctuations in prices of fuel. Not sure. I don't pretend to know. But yes, that is a big one. The Halloween looks absolutely amazing. Is that the norm in most places in the US? Do you do like allocated days where you expect trick-or-treaters, so you know when to expect them, so it's not on Halloween, and it's not, oh, it could be from 4 p.m. up anywhere up until like 9 p.m., which is what we do here. And I know it does make a few people cross, but you know, it's only for one night, isn't it? And I love seeing all the trick-or-treaters and all of their amazing costumes. I love it. So that looks amazing. And I'm so glad that she said it really is exactly how you see it on the TV, and people do make that amount of effort. I'm so glad she said that, because quite a lot of things do tend to be quite, I don't know, they're like myths or like misconceptions or stereotypes that we would have of America. And the good ones anyway, it's a bit disheartening when you hear that they're not true and you're like, oh, okay. But the myth, it's not a myth, but the idea that Halloween is so big in the USA, and every house on every street is highly decorated, and the streets are wild with trick-or-treaters and youngsters all dressed up. So that idea, that's true, right? That's good. That's good. Okay, let's carry on.
It's the first thing we notice. So because we are already living in America, going on holidays here is so much cheaper and makes getting around to see these amazing places possible. We've done New York, New Orleans. That was incredible. We went for Mardi Gras. Yes, it was amazing. The entire vibe of the place is like nothing I have ever experienced. Niagara Falls, Charleston. I'm obsessed with the Vampire Diaries, so we visited the town where that was set. That was a little town in Georgia called Covington. And right now we are in Orlando to take our daughter to Disney World for her birthday. And we would never have been able to afford flights from England to Orlando along with a couple of days at Disney World. When you're here, getting to visit these places becomes possible. Living here, utilities are significantly cheaper. It just feels like a better way of life. You're not just going to work and coming home and repeating it every single day. And we actually have seasons. I know that isn't a guarantee everywhere, but where we live, we have real seasons. Things differ state to state out here, so I can only really talk about what I know to be true for where I am. So social security numbers, you cannot do anything without one, so it's the first thing you want to do. No loans, you can't work, get credit cards, which by the way, I have noticed that out here you get more rewards with credit cards, like cashback offers. We have had at least a couple of $100s back, so if you do ever move out, shop around for a credit card, the offers are just on another level. Driving, now again it might differ state to state, but I have to do a local driving test, which actually does make sense because it isn't just driving on the opposite side of the road. The lanes are so different out here, and it's heavy on stop signs. So school buses, you know, the big yellow ones that you always see on TV, when they stop, no matter what side of the road it's on, you also have to stop. So when a school bus stops, all traffic stops. You cannot pass that bus. Now, food. It is so easy to gain weight out here.
Oh my gosh, before she moves on to food. Yes, so that would be one thing that I think I would find quite intimidating, actually. It took me long enough to learn how to drive over here. So if we change a few things about it, it's a steep learning curve for me. So we drive on the other side of the road, and there's lots and lots of other differences, I'm sure. I know a lot of you have told me that roundabouts are becoming more of a thing in the UK. They're a lot more, there's a lot more of them than I was led to believe. But you know what? If I'm being honest, the only thing I'm going off there is the episode of The Simpsons where they get stuck on the roundabout and they're never really sure where to come off. Which again, when we're doing our driving lessons and driving tests, it's a bit of a second nature because you won't go far in the UK without coming across a roundabout. We love them. I don't know why. What's even worse is that I guess they're good because they're free flowing, so there's less need to stop traffic and give way, blah 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 blah. But in reality, we have so many traffic light orientated roundabouts, and it's a bit of a confusing notion because you're like, well, why would we need traffic lights if we have a roundabout? Because surely it flows. Anyway. But yes, I would be a little bit intimidated about that. But if she's had to do compulsory driving tests, if you're driving lessons, that sounds very, very logical. I like the sound of that. That would ease my mind a lot, actually. So like a crash course on how to drive out in the US. Good idea, smashing idea.
Food is amazing and the portions are very generous. I love it. But after a few months of being here, we did realize that we had to cut down on how much we were eating. You really have no need to order sides or extras. The main meals are huge. There are so many diners and nice restaurants like Red Lobster. That is an incredible place to eat. Now, tipping. You do have to tip. It's probably for me the biggest cultural difference that tips are expected. We don't tip as much in England, or if you have a spare fiver in your pocket, you leave that if the service was good. But out here, the staff working in food establishments are generally on such a low wage. The tip is kind of factored into their wage. It's expected that you leave a good tip, so 15 to 20%. And it is expected. I would say tipping is a little bit out of control. It isn't just your restaurants and your diners where tips are expected. I don't want to keep you too long, but I had a seriously awkward moment at a nail salon before we came here, so I'll probably do another video on tipping because it really is on another level. I knew about tipping in food establishments before moving here, but I had no idea that it was expected everywhere. But now with work, I'm an esthetician, so depending on what state you live in, there's certain things you can and can't do. So in England, I'm qualified to microneedle, dermaplane, and do deeper chemical peels, so the bio-repeel. I'm not legally allowed to do that in the state that I live in because I'm not a medical professional, which is frustrating. I think if you work under a medical professional, you can do it, but again, state dependent. But I would say tipping and my personal work situation are the only slightly negative things, but not enough to make me not want to be here and to stay here. Everything else that is so much better makes it a million times worth it. So I can't really think of anything else right now. I just spontaneously wanted to pop on whilst I was in the park. But if you have any questions, please let me know below. If you're fed up of life in England and you want to move to America, I would love to hear about it. I know my circumstances for moving are probably different to a lot of people, but I just strongly believe life in America is so much better. Quality of life is better. So I don't want to take too much time, so I will do a tipping video next time. And thank you for being here. I am looking forward to sharing this journey with you and hearing about yours.
Oh, isn't she lovely? Thank you, Emma. Wow, okay. Some handy tips there. Tips, no pun intended. Tipping. Yes, this is a difference that frequently comes up, isn't it, guys? So in the UK, like I've said a few times, the only occasion where tipping is expected, I'd say it's expected, is at a restaurant. And that's not a fast food restaurant either. That's a sit down, eat, nice meal. And they've started doing things like adding a service charge to the bill. And then that leaves you very confused, like, well, am I expected to tip on top of this? Or if I've got more than 8 in my party, this charge has been added to the bill. Do I tip? Da, 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 da. So that's the only occasion you'd really tip in the UK. So it's more of a thing in the US, isn't it? Especially, you know, Emma said here, that's one of the biggest culture shocks. So yes, I suppose if your wages are very low because they factor into that, you know, the addition of tips, I don't know, does that work out better for any of you restaurant workers based in the US? Do you prefer it because you do make really, really good money on tips? Or would you rather have like a minimum wage like we do over here? So there is an absolute minimum of the amount that an employer can pay you. And so the difference is really is that our restaurant staff, they are on a minimum wage or above, you know, a national minimum, national living wage or national minimum wage. They are two different things. But yeah, so I suppose their wages aren't horrendous, or they're not any more horrendous than retail staff or staff, you know, in across other sectors. So yeah, different. What would you prefer? Like any of our restaurant workers, do you like the amount that you can make in tips? Is that good? Do you make a crazy additional income just from your tips? Let me know. So what else was, oh, her work situation. Yes, so there's always going to be differences in the legalities, especially with, you know, with her job situation. She works in aesthetics, doesn't she? So yeah, I understand how that's a bummer. But again, it is very situation dependent, isn't it? So, you know, could a YouTuber make the move across the pond a bit more easily? Just asking for a friend. But yes, oh my gosh, she's living the dream. And she says, it's not just once she said it a few times, that their like their standard of life is just generally better. They're happier. And oh my gosh, imagine you'd have so much more vitamin D, wouldn't you? Because of the sun. But yes, she's obviously a lot happier out there in the US. Where are they? Pennsylvania, did she say? Okay, so I'm thinking a similar kind of climate to the UK. Do you reckon, guys? So, you know, they're not in like a crazy hot climate. But yeah, she's living the dream. I am jealous. I'm turning green here. Green with envy. I think Emma's going to start a little bit of a group, which is come and join me in the UK. Not the UK. Come and join me in the USA. Come on, move over, guys. Move. It's so much nicer over here. It's better. It's better. Nicer food. I think you guys have better quality of food, if I'm honest. And of course, you've got the corn. I love corn. I love sweet corn. And what we get over here is absolute garbage. Most of the time it is, you know, during like kind of harvest season, like around now, it's okay if you can get fresh corn. But I think a lot of the corn that's produced over here, and we don't get a lot of sun, not as much anyway as you guys, I imagine, in most states. You know, so whatever we do get, I don't know what's happening to that corn, but I don't think it's going to our supermarkets. I think it just gets frozen. Or whatever it is, or it's rubbish. Let's face it, it's rubbish. So there's a winner already. You guys must have amazing sweet corn, amongst other things. So yes, I'm very tempted. It is incredibly tempting. And the social security numbers, so that kind of makes sense. It's got to be similar to our national insurance number, I think, that we would have over here. You know, security. I get it. Anyway. Thank you for watching this video with me, guys. That was very enjoyable to watch. Thank you so much, James, for requesting this. So I'll have to catch some more of Emma's videos. Maybe there's a bit of a step-by-step how to get the ball rolling moving to the US. You never know. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video with me. Thank you for requesting this video, James. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye, guys.